1996's Super Mario RPG transported players into a fully fledged role-playing game starring everybody's favourite plumber, complete with turn-based battles, side quests, mini-games, and an extended cast of characters to meet and interact with. Super Mario RPG married the staples of the genre with all of the quirkiness and humour you'd come to expect from Mario, in this love child between Nintendo and Final Fantasy creators Squaresoft. Skip forward to today, and Nintendo have just released a remake of Super Mario RPG that delivers a substantial modernisation of Mario's first foray into the role-playing genre from 27 years ago. The medium of video games has evolved rapidly since the mid-90s, so how well does Super Mario RPG fare in today's gaming landscape? Barring a few little hiccups, surprisingly well as it turns out. But before we kick things off proper, here's Rob to tell you a little bit about our book, A Handheld History.
Hello, Rob here to remind you all that our premium coffee table book, A Handheld History, is now available to buy on both Amazon and in retail stores. It's filled with information on basically every handheld device you can think of, as well as personal stories from guest writers about their favourite devices and what makes portable gaming so special. It's not just a load of word soup either though, because we've crammed it with professional photography and illustrations, so you fans of looking at stuff will still be happy. If you're interested, a link to take a closer look will be in the description. Now, back to your scheduled programming. Take it away, Theo.
Every pixel from Mario's RPG debut has been lovingly reimagined here by developer Arte Piazza, and successfully recreated within the Unity engine. The upgrade over the 96 original is striking with superb visuals throughout. The improvement in image quality is evident from the beginning of the adventure, with the first area set in Bowser's Keep acting as a showpiece for what Arte Piazza have accomplished with this remake. Bowser's castle is suitably dark and moody, with deep shadows punctuated by the glow of torches and illuminated further by moonlight piercing through the castle windows. Bowser's lava-filled hallways look incredible, with smoke and steam rising from the depths to create a foreboding atmosphere for the King of the Koopa's homestead. This introductory level is easily one of the best looking experiences on Nintendo's almost 8-year-old hardware. The flat, pixelated textures from the original game have all been successfully rejuvenated to make the game world more solid and tactile. It's not a one-to-one recreation, however, with Bowser's throne room losing its weirdly white and sterile look in favour of a darkened, gloomy room that better fits with the bad guy vibes. It's great to see the developers take this mixed approach to the visuals in Super Mario RPG, updating the look and feel of areas where it's needed while preserving the elements that worked well in the original. This approach is utilised across all of Super Mario RPG and is a triumph throughout. From Bowser's dank castle to the sun-soaked seaside town to a settlement high up in the clouds, Super Mario RPG looks gorgeous. It's not just the in-game picture quality either, with wonderful new cutscenes brought to life by the team over at Digital Media Lab. Every cutscene in Super Mario RPG is brimming with personality, featuring vibrant colours, detailed graphics, and impressive particle effects. It's also worth noting that all of the cutscenes run at a native 60 frames per second, and the fluidity of movement is always a pleasure to behold. The main storyline in Super Mario RPG introduces an army of dastardly sentient weapons that destroy the Star Road above the Mushroom Kingdom and evict Bowser from his castle. Your quest will see Mario banding together with new characters such as the lovable Mallow and the magical Geno, along with Peach and even Bowser to fight against the invading arsenal led by the diabolical Smithy. It's a unique tale full of whimsy and quirkiness that kept me smiling and laughing across the 11 hours it took me to finish the main quest. If Super Mario RPG's premise has you intrigued, then the adventure itself will enamour you with its weird, charming and imaginative world. The game is chock full of oddities, from battles against anthropomorphic alarm clocks to playing solitaire in Bowser's castle. Outside of combat, no two moments in Super Mario RPG are alike, and the variety and creativity on offer keeps proceedings fresh across the entire adventure. The script is consistently hilarious too, with scenarios and dialogue befitting the madcap sense of humour you'd expect from Nintendo. From sassy toads to slapstick physical humour, Super Mario RPG feels like an ode to classic cartoons of a bygone era, a time when snappy writing was married with silliness and tomfoolery to provide an enduringly fun experience. Super Mario RPG also manages to tease out depth and nuance between its leading players, with the relationship between Bowser and the rest of the ensemble particularly enlightening and heartwarming. Nintendo uses Bowser's extra screen time to paint him in a more sympathetic light than usual, and he comes across as a more rounded personality and somebody who I genuinely developed empathy for across the course of the game. Super Mario RPG manages to maintain a crisp 1080p picture while docked and 720p in handheld mode, maxing out the display capabilities regardless of how you choose to play. The game runs at a pretty solid 60 frames per second, both in docked and handheld mode. However, there are a few areas in the game that produce an unfortunate juddering, with frame rates dropping consistently. I found a few areas, such as the aforementioned seaside town, to be the worst offenders, with the frame rate regularly struggling to maintain its 60 FPS target. Running through the center of the area is enough to reliably trigger the drop in performance. Curiously, I found the issues to be worse when playing in docked mode. I must stress, however, that these are minor performance issues and are not enough to detract from the overall experience, and although the effect on the eyes is unpleasant, it is mercifully short-lived and restricted to just a few areas. The performance dips stand out more against the high levels of polish found throughout the rest of Super Mario RPG, and can be considered to be the only visual blemish on an otherwise stunning remake. If there was one area that I was concerned about before jumping into Super Mario RPG, it was the combat. The original game featured turn-based battles that played out in separate arenas, and while the battle system was functional, it didn't stand out in a genre saturated with games that did turn-based combat better. Thankfully, for Super Mario RPG on Switch, we have additional fight mechanics to make fisticuffs more enjoyable. Action commands are the biggest and best innovation and provide an added depth to the combat that was missing in the original game. By successfully timing button presses, players can boost their damage output or completely negate all incoming damage, and succeeding with the correct timing was always gratifying. And as an additional bonus, nailing the timing on an attack inflicts splash damage on all surrounding enemies. This twist to the existing Super Mario RPG formula brilliantly introduces elements of strategy to each encounter, as you prioritize your targets and must remain focused in order to deliver crushing blows. Successful use of action commands will gradually fill the new action gauge. Once the gauge is full, Mario and Co are able to launch an extremely powerful triple move. The new triple moves provide a range of special effects, from applying defensive buffs to inflicting massive damage upon your foes. The best part of the new system is how triple moves reflect the 3 current members of your party when activated, with lovely, fully animated scenes playing out whenever you choose to unleash one. With several different triple moves to discover, I enjoyed mixing up my party members to witness them all in action. Utilizing the action commands and action gauge effectively makes battles feel dynamic and tactical, with victories consistently feeling well earned and satisfying. While I'm generally delighted with the combat mechanics in Super Mario RPG, it does lack any meaningful accessibility options. Special abilities such as Mario's Fireball and Bowser's Mecha Koopa Stomp require players to repeatedly mash the A button to inflict maximum damage. Other special abilities require you to rapidly rotate the sticks to increase their potency. Unfortunately, these are the only control schemes available for several special moves, and I ultimately chose not to use them because of the discomfort they introduced. I played through the majority of Super Mario RPG using the Switch Pro controller and found hammering the A button cumbersome and twiddling the analog stick awkward. I would have much preferred the option to switch mashing to holding a button, or even an autocomplete. While there is a breezy mode for combat that tones down the difficulty, for anyone that experiences hardship from holding a controller, repeatedly mashing buttons or making fast rotations using the analog sticks, Super Mario RPG feels unwelcoming and a step backwards for gaming inclusivity. With other recent titles making excellent advancements in accessibility options, I sincerely hope that Nintendo can rectify this oversight in an upcoming patch. Where Super Mario RPG on Nintendo Switch shines brightest is in its soundtrack. Composed by Yoko Shimomura, the legendary composer behind the soundtracks to Kingdom Hearts, Street Fighter II, and the Mario & Luigi series, she's delivered a soundscape of pure aural bliss in Super Mario RPG. The default soundtrack for the Switch version of Super Mario RPG features beautiful new arrangements to the almost 30-year-old score. The new instrumentation lends a grandeur to proceedings and complements Mario's adventures through the Mushroom Kingdom and beyond perfectly. Additionally, players can choose to hop into the settings and switch to the original SNES soundtrack. I love having the option to play with the classic soundtrack, and it's a welcome addition for fans of the original game, or those with a curious ear. Have a listen to this little snippet from the game to see what I mean. Nintendo have even included a music player that can be unlocked after clearing the main quest. The music player features a comprehensive library of all the music in the game, with both modern and classic renditions included. The variety of music present here is impressive and helps elevate Super Mario RPG's charming and quirky adventure at every opportunity. After the credits rolled, I couldn't wait to jump back in and continue my adventure. The post-game leaves Super Mario RPG's world open for you to explore, with tougher optional bosses to defeat, mini-games to master, and secret treasures to find. The in-game journal is a wonderful tool for tracking all of your adventures and achievements, and completionists will enjoy compiling every entry within its pages. Super Mario RPG on Nintendo Switch is a faithful and authentic update to the 1996 original, packed with joy and whimsy that will delight existing fans and easily enrapture newcomers. Some infrequent, minor technical hitches and accessibility oversights are the only blemishes on this pristine package that continues Nintendo's streak of incredible, joyous releases. A stunning soundtrack, gorgeous visuals, wacky storyline, and a smorgasbord of things to see and do makes Super Mario RPG an essential purchase. Please give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to stay up to date with all of our upcoming retro gaming content, and remember to check out A Handheld History, which is now available on Amazon. There's a link down in the description below. I've been Theo for Retro Dodo, and we'll see you again soon.